So we are here at our friend Anne Marie's house, and her washing machine has stopped working on her. Apparently what's happening is that the symptoms are that it fills up with water, but it will not spin or agitate. And that's a very common failure with washing machines here. So we're going to take a look at that here for her today, and let's examine the common root causes for this failure mode, for your washer not spinning after filling up with water. Hey everybody, Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, today we have another great repair video for you. So we have a washer here. This is a top-loading washing machine. Problem with this machine is that all of a sudden it'll fill up with water, but it won't spin. Okay, so we're going to show you two different possible ways to repair this. One of them would be if it's the switch here. That's a common cause right here, the lid switch. So if you lift up your lid, you hear that click. If you don't hear it clicking when you lift it up, that means your switch is likely bad, and that's probably the cause of your problem. If it's not the lid switch, then it will be down by here by the motor. It could potentially be the motor couplers there that couple the motor to the transmission there. Unfortunately, we can't show you how to do it if it's a belt change, because this does not have a belt. This is a direct drive, so the motor connects directly into the transmission. There's no belt drive like they do in the more modern ones. Also, you'll notice that most of your modern ones will have an access panel along the front here, which you'll take off with a couple of screws, but this is an older one that doesn't have it. So we're going to have to take the whole shell off of this in order to be able to get at the inside. Okay, first thing I always do is unplug it, turn off the water supply. Okay, now unfortunately this unit is so old, it's not one of those that has like the clips in here that you would stick your little paint scraper in there and just pop open the clip and up comes the top. Two screws, is one right here that is helping to secure it to the top of the unit here. So we have to remove that and push in this clip and do the same thing on the other side as well. Okay, so we'll just loosen this screw here. Then we'll push in this clip here. Now you slide it forward here, and it just sort of pops up, see? You just want to loosen these, and you do the same thing on the other side. So then this just lifts up and out like that. And all you have to do is disconnect this cable here, because we're going to be taking off this whole top. Normally these are supposed to be springy, but as you can see here, you're moving the thing and it's not really springy. It's not snapping back into place. And it's not making that distinct click that you normally get when it engages, like a relay type action. You don't hear that clicking on and off. So there's something wrong with this. And then not only that, here, take a look at this. If you flip open the lid there and take a look in there, you can see it's all scorched, and then look at the inside of the lid is scorched. So these contacts got all burnt up, and here's a closer look for you. See how it's all scorched up? This puppy's toast. Okay, so we have the old lid switch here, and we have a new one here in the bag. Okay, so here they are, both side by side here. There's the old one, there's the new one. So I like that the new part here comes with its own ground wire. Now we don't have to swap from the old unit onto this one. So let me show you how this one is supposed to work. So listen carefully. You hear the click? And when I move it with my thumb, when I push it in, watch this. Notice how it snaps back that way? So it's got that nice springing action. That's what a new lid switch is supposed to be like. So once we open the door there, you can see how the hook slides out of the way. So now we just lower the switch in through the top, and it very easily just snaps into place. And then when we close the lid, you can see how it comes right back up in there. And now you can hear it click, see? Before we weren't hearing that click. Okay, so here's what it looks like when we lower it from the top and just let it snap into place. See? So now we bolt down the wire there. This is our ground wire to the chassis ground. And this is using a 5/16 inch. Now we have to undo these two clips here. Okay, since this is a spring clip, my preferred method is to just use a flathead screwdriver. Pop it right up like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Like that. And now looking at the back of the unit here at the bottom, you can see there's a screw right there that we have to undo, because that's what's holding this whole side and front. This whole body shell is being held in place to the back there at the bottom. So that's what stinks about these older ones. They never gave much thought at all to rapid disassembly if you have to repair something. There's that one out. Okay, so now all we have to do is you give a little yank, see, and just separate the front from the back. Now you just rock the front away from the back, see. So there you have it. That's what your washing machine looks like with the shell removed, and it's all exposed now. So now what we have to do is we got to pull the pump off here and then pull the motor out. So I'm just going to pop these guys. Okay, and it just swings off to the side there. Okay, now there's two clips that hold this motor on. One is up here and one is here. You can see they're held in place with a 1/4 inch hex bolt there. So we're going to need something with a 1/4 inch drive on it. So here, I've got my set here with the nut drivers here. Alright, so we'll do this one here. Now we'll do this upper one here. Okay, now we'll pop this clip here on the bottom. And so you can pull this connector off here, and you can do it, you can actually do that before you dislodge the motor from the housing there. That might even be better for you. Alright, so now that we have the motor out here and we're looking at it here, we want to see if our rubber piece, how it looks here. We pull it off, and it looks like it's in pretty decent shape. It's not cracked or broken or anything. The legs here on this guy are in pretty good shape. And likewise here on this one, these legs are in good shape, so there's nothing cracked, there's nothing broken there, there's nothing stripped. Of course you would check this plastic coupler here as well, and so you want to make sure that, none of these legs are broken, first of all, and you want to make sure it's not stripped in the middle there, because that's a squared off spindle on the middle. So this is supposed to fit on there perfectly and then stay on there. Now if it strips, if you go this way and it keeps spinning but doesn't spin the spindle with it, but all you would have to do to pull it out is to just get a screwdriver behind it and just kind of wedge it forward. It's just really tight and it just pulls right off of the spindle. And likewise here on the motor, you check on here and make sure that he's okay. And you can see he's turning everything just fine. There's no broken legs. He's not loose on there and he's not spinning in place. So that's a good sign. So now we'll just put our black rubber retainer back on there, and he's not broken either, so that would be a sign that there's something broken. And if this was ruined, you would see probably shards of black rubber all over the floor underneath where your washing machine was. Now if you look closely here, there's supposed to be 4 of these grommets here, right? So we have 2 here, the other 2 are in the background there. They're still on where it mates to the transmission over there. And so when you put this back, you just make sure you made it up properly the same way you pulled it off. And then see these 3 holes here, these will fit into those 3 legs over here. See it right on the other coupler right there. So just remember, it fits in like a puzzle piece. So as you're putting it back up, right there, we just snapped it right in. See that? It snaps right in. And then the bottom one here will come in and it will do the same thing. So what you have to do is you got to push back on it. Extremely difficult, but see how it snaps right in like that? Now we're going to plug the wiring harness back on here. Make sure he's on nice and snug, that this is latched. Now we want to go through the clip here with our 1/4 inch hex screw and screw it back into place nice and tight just to make sure those never pop off. Remember, you got to have these in place because there's a lot of vibration when these machines are agitating, and those clips could pop right off. Now we're going to reattach the water pump here, and remember that's a squared off hole there, so we have to make sure that the spindle is facing the same direction as that is so that you can get it back on there. There we go. Now we're going to put the retaining bracket back in, and it goes in vertically like this, just inside that hole there, and then we're going to turn it 90 degrees. Again, very difficult. You got to push down on it, and then you do the same thing on the bottom side. So here we got the bracket going in here, we turn it in the hole so that it's facing upright, and then snap it up right there. Now you can see how much rust there is at the bottom of this washing machine because it sits out here in the moist, very humid garage area here where a lot of people have their washers, and they just rust out. Everything in here rusts. So I don't know how much longer this is even going to last. Now we're going to put it all together. We're going to put the metal shell back around it, and just remember it sits on this ledge here, and there's tabs here, and same with on the other side here, and those tabs poke up through the metal side here. It goes right into the base of the metal here, those little slots. So just make sure these line up. Okay, now that we've got the shell back, we're going to start to put the back towards it again. Get everything hooked back up here. So you put the clip back in here, and remember it was in here and in here. So the other one goes in here. You pull the back close, make sure the clip goes in there, snap her down. Okay, so now we're going to rotate and put the top back on, and remember you have these 3 hooks here that line up to these 3 holes. And they go down and push back. Okay, so these will line up here and pull back like that. That locks them into place. Then don't forget to retighten these 2 screws on either side here. There's one on the left and one on the right to secure this top part of the housing to the body of the washing machine. And don't forget to reinstall that last screw at the bottom there on the back. We are back in one piece again. So this is a pretty good time here to sweep out everything that's in the back here underneath. This is always, anytime you have your appliances out, that's a good time to get them all swept out. And look at all this mess right here. This came from the corrosion from the bottom of the washing machine from sitting out here in this hot, humid garage. Like, I think it's about 105 degrees out here right now, but the humidity is terrible in here. So if you look at the bottom of the washer down there, you can see it's all rusted along the bottom. And that's very typical when they have laundry rooms here out in the garage of houses. That just should not be allowed. Builders are really stupid. Down here in Florida where it's really humid, you should never, ever, ever have your laundry room out here, ever. It should be inside in an air-conditioned room. Okay, so you plug this back in here. We're going to turn the water back on. Okay, so it sounds like it came on and it's agitating. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, it was agitating. I saw it moving. Well, you can hear it's working okay, and I hope this helped you with your problem. And if it did, hey, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up down below. That tells us that you like us. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hey, man, what are you waiting for? Click on that subscribe button down below there and click the little gray bell icon next to it. That will tell YouTube to alert you every time we upload a video because you don't want to miss one of our videos. That's it for this week, folks. We'll see you on the next one.